Hey guys, what's up? It's me, Aaron, and you're watching another weekly live stream here on YouTube. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We're going to be getting into it in a minute, but before we do, go ahead and hit the like button and also let me know in the chat channel, or rather just leave a comment, letting me know if you have charts you'd like me to look at the end of the live stream. We're going to be looking at a couple of charts that I'm really interested in, but I want to make sure that I'm also looking at what you guys are interested in too. And some of you were asking for charts last time. One of them, that's right, I need to add that one to the watch list. Just remembered. Okay. So I am liable to forget stuff. It's okay. But I got a lot of stuff I want to share with you, specifically in regards to how this is going to work with dumps. Now, when we have dumps in the market like this that we're seeing the day before yesterday, and today's a little bit like, oh, things are maybe picking up. I'm saying today because in Japan it's 10:07 a.m. So the daily candle has just finished its first hour or so. But things aren't looking as amazing as you would hope they looked. So we're going to get into that, okay? So let's jump over here to TradingView. So I'm going to be looking at these tickers. Again, if you have suggestions of other charts you'd like me to look at, by all means, you can let me know in the chat, okay? Awesome. So let's go ahead and get started and get into this. Now, the first one I want to obviously talk about is Bitcoin, because this is what we're all looking at. Now, whether or not you like trading Bitcoin, whether or not you think Bitcoin has inherent value, and you feel like, oh, this is going to be a great chart in the future or not, doesn't matter. Bitcoin still runs the show. What happened? When Bitcoin dropped up here at 65K and it lost 8.6% over 2 days, 3 days really, everything else dropped way more. Not everything, but most things do. Pay attention. This is super duper typical in crypto, where Bitcoin drops a little bit. Honestly, 3% is a pretty big move for BTC. And then the next day, almost 4%. That's actually pretty substantial. But what happened? Everything else dropped a whole lot more. Not everything. I keep saying everything, but not everything. And I want to talk about why. Bitcoin is the leader of the pack. For all of you like 50s, like rock and roll fans, the leader of the pack. Yeah, seriously. BTC determines the bullishness or the bearishness of the market. Now, there are some that will overreact or just do whatever they want no matter what's happening with BTC. But for the most part, when Bitcoin's bearish, everything's going to be very bearish. And when Bitcoin is starting to look bullish, everything's going to be crazy bullish. Think back to last week and the week before when Bitcoin was moving up mid-September. We saw alts move up a ton. I mean, I can just go over here to the chart for WIF. Mid-September, from September 17th, where BTC started to really move up, we saw WIF shoot up 76%. How much did Bitcoin move up in the same amount of time? It only moved up 14%. Okay, so it shows the impatience and the imbalance in crypto, which is okay. We know that we're going to make way more money trading alts, but we still have to pay attention to what Bitcoin is doing. It is Grandpa BTC. With that said, Grandpa BTC will still be around in 20, 30 years. WIF, not so sure. Solana, not so sure. But Bitcoin, this is why I'm much more interested and focused on Bitcoin in the long term, especially for accumulation. So let's talk a little bit about what we're seeing. So for one, the TBO has done an incredible job of marking overhead resistance and lower support. So these red dotted lines right here, these are all lines of TBO resistance. And it's drawn automatically by the indicator, which is great. And then we also have down here these green lines. These are opposite, which are support. So yes, we can still use our eyes. Yes, I still draw lines on charts, but it's nice to be able to see it right here on the chart. So the fact that I can see TBO support right here at this level, and we see it respecting, for the most part, even though it's wicking below, it still bounces off of this level of support. Guess what? We see a similar thing. Now this goes a lot farther, but we still see this as support, and it holds and it goes up higher. We have a support level here. Guess what? Pierce it and we go up higher. So are we starting to see a pattern? Each one is getting successively lower. Not the best thing to have happen, but it is a pattern, so we need to pay attention to it. Plus we have TBO resistance. It is also coming down. This is also dependent on what happens in price action. When we had our little bit of a rally here late August, it wasn't enough to bring TBO resistance down. But when we had our drop right here on Monday this week, yeah, wow, it's already Thursday, Monday of this week, we saw TBO resistance get brought down. So just want to bring that to your attention. The other thing about the TBO that's really helpful is that whenever the price goes inside this expanse right here, that kind of looks like a whale. This is the TBO cloud, this mass in the middle. Okay, if you've ever used the Ichimoku indicator, it's a similar strategy in that when the price is inside the cloud, it's bearish consolidation, especially if it was bullish before. However, if the price is strong bearish below the cloud and it pushes inside, this is bullish consolidation. So we can start to get more excited and more exposed to alts when Bitcoin is pushing up from being below. So where are we right now? Well, to be honest, the cloud is looking pretty sideways, which means that we're going to be chopping for a while, unfortunately. We've seen this shape happen before. We get a little excited and then it comes right back down. I'm not trying to rain on anyone's parade, just trying to be a little bit realistic here. So one other thing to keep in mind is that if Bitcoin closes below the daily cloud, that will be a strong bearish sign. That's what we saw happen back here, and the price continued to go all the way down here to 52K. If we go back in time over here, similar story. Closing below the cloud is strong bearish. What happened after that? It dumped a ton. Does this check out with previous dumps? Yes, it does. When the price closes below the cloud, it's strong bearish. Even if there's a little bit of a relief rally, it falls right down. So we have these three different moments in time where the price of Bitcoin closed below the cloud and we saw a pretty severe drop. We don't really want to see that happen. I really don't want to see that happen. I want to see the price of Bitcoin go back up to 65K and test out of this range that we've been in for way too long. But it just depends on the market. And right now, honestly, the market is way more interested in alts. Look at the performance right now of alts compared to BTC. Bitcoin's up 0.71%. WIF is up 3. SUI is up 5.7. Pepe almost 3. SHIB 2. So no one is really buying the dip on Bitcoin. So unfortunately, traders are looking at WIF, Solana, SUI, Pepe, SHIB as vehicles for trading, which makes sense. You're going to make way more money trading these coins than you will with Bitcoin in the short term. But in long term, Bitcoin steers the ship for sure. Let me get rid of all those. Now, what would change my mind for BTC to be bullish again? Well, what would change my mind is to see Bitcoin come back and go above the TBO cloud, right in there. If we can see Bitcoin go above the cloud, right up there, then that means that there's a higher chance that we're going to see BTC do another test and hopefully go up to 68K and test this level of resistance right there. Now, there's actually a lot more to this, and I've been sharing bits and pieces of it on X, but people that are in the Better Traders Club know exactly what I'm talking about. So I want to share the bull flag concept with you. This will be coming out in another video on the channel in a little while, I'm pretty sure. So I warned our members in the Better Traders Club back here. We're getting in this range right here saying, guys, this is a little bit weird. We're just going... Price action's too stable, it's too static, I'm not liking how things are looking, and then of course the price pushes up, but it doesn't go higher than our bull flag. So unfortunately, we hit the top of our bull flag. The bottom of our bull flag is at a depressing level of $49,000. Now, I don't actually believe we're going to go that low. The main reason why is because we have support and resistance. All right, and I need to clean this up so it's a little bit easier to see. So let me get rid of, actually, no, that's part of it. So here's the deal. When we moved up, we go up too high and we break support. First line of support is always a bad sign. Now this line is long gone. We can actually make this dashed. So that's broken, confirmed broken. It would be really weird for Bitcoin to pump 7% in a day unless a country is going to come forward and say, we're making Bitcoin our national reserve currency. It's not going to happen. There are moments where Bitcoin does pump out of nowhere, like 11% in a day. Amazing. But this comes after a huge sell-off. Keep that in mind. Perspective helps. But it makes the most sense to see BTC drag down to this support level. Now, when I first shared this, the price action was over here. So looking at a really dramatic drop of 12 or 13% in a day would put us at 55K. The longer the price of Bitcoin chops, the more likely it's going to be about, oh, it'll still be 55K, maybe 56. But I'm looking at this level of support, and I'm hoping that the price of Bitcoin bounces off here, that it will test again and just keep pushing up higher, break above. Let me draw it instead like this. So maybe something like this, just real fast. Faster the better, honestly. The longer it takes to go down to something like this, the more painful it is. We really want to just have it come up and then go straight down, bounce, make a higher high, test again, bounce, test again, push up above, and then there we go. But things are taking a little bit longer because we didn't get a breakout like we were hoping. So I'm still looking at a possible target of $55,907 before we see a bounce. Now, the other thing to keep in mind here is that RSI has not had a reset. And what I confirm, or rather what I consider a reset, is when the value of RSI goes below 25. And then we get a fresh reset. We didn't see that, unfortunately. It's getting close, but it's similar to this. And this is a really big drop in one day. 71 down to 47, down to 33. It's a big drop. So yeah, we could have a pullback, or rather a retrace up before going lower. But really, we want to see RSI drop below 25. That will be a really good confirmation. The other not so great thing that we're seeing is that we have an on-balance volume cross down on the moving average. Now, the direction of the moving average is great. I mean, we're just going straight up and up and up. That's really good. But unfortunately, we got a bearish cross down there. So the price is chopping. I'm looking at 55,000-ish, maybe 56, but looking at this range and hoping that it'll just happen real quick. Because again, the faster that this stuff happens, let me hide everything. The faster that we get a dump, the faster we recover. But the longer it takes to drag down, then the longer it takes to recover. And then, so we really want this to be quick and relatively painless. That would be fantastic, to be honest. All right, let me bring this back up. Okay, and let me just check. Great. So remember, if you got questions about coins that you want me to talk about in today's video, you want me to look at specific charts, please leave a comment down below. Leave a message in the chat. It's totally fine. So that way I know what you guys are thinking about, and make sure to hit the like button too, and you can share the live stream, all the fun stuff. All right, let's keep going. It's important that we look at Bitcoin dominance as well. And something I shared recently in the Better Traders Club that I think new traders miss, or new crypto traders miss the concept, in that if Bitcoin is falling, then that means Bitcoin dominance should fall too, right? Well, the only two dominance levels, or dominance and the chart price, that have a relationship like that is Ethereum. Whenever Ethereum's dumping, usually we're going to see Ethereum dominance dump too. Ethereum dominance is moving up, Ethereum's price is moving up. But for the most part, it's, yeah, not so great. But Bitcoin dominance can increase when the price of Bitcoin is falling. Why? Well, that's because whales, quote unquote, or larger accounts, larger portfolios, are accumulating Bitcoin. Obviously, when the price of Bitcoin is dropping and everything else is dropping, we're going to see an increase in stablecoin dominance, which is exactly what we saw. But it's also normal to see the price of Bitcoin falling, but Bitcoin dominance moving up, because the market's looking at this as a buying opportunity. And that's what happened yesterday. It moved up 0.89%. Not huge, but we've seen this pattern play out many times before. Now, to be honest, I am ready and excited for the day that Bitcoin dominance really starts to collapse. But we're not there yet. Things are still strong bullish on this, but I'm watching and waiting for this to collapse. One of the main things that I like about this right now is that on balance volume on the daily time frame is bearish. Yes, we're seeing a cross up, but look at the moving average. Even though it's starting to flatten out, this is still bearish. I like this. If we go to the RSI, we've been seeing consecutively lower highs on the daily. Okay, our high was way back here in April, and we haven't seen a high on RSI that met or exceeded that previous high. this high that we had recently back in September on the 18th did not meet or exceed the high on Friday, August 9th. Get the pattern here? So we're seeing pushes of RSI up above our overbought level of 70, but if we don't meet or exceed, then we're not seeing real strength there. We're just seeing overbought values. Let's bring this to the weekly time frame. Yes, the TBO is crazy bullish. All four lines pointing straight up, basically, or diagonally up. Price is above the cloud. It looks good, honestly. But when I look at RSI in the weekly, same story applies. We saw a mega spike up here, and this is way back October, when the Bitcoin spot ETF announcement was teased out and incorrect. It was premature. Then we saw RSI shoot up again, but not anywhere near as high, or it didn't exceed. Get it? Over here, we had another high in April. It did not meet or exceed the previous high. This one did in August. But what happened August 5th? We saw that mega dump down. So if we go to August 5th, this is when we saw the price of Bitcoin drop a whole lot. So again, same idea, same thing I was saying before. Just because, where is it? Right here. Just because the price of Bitcoin is dumping does not guarantee that Bitcoin dominance will fall. Let's go back to RSI. So that's why it increased. Now, for the last, I have to measure it back, the last 7 weeks, we haven't seen RSI on the weekly time frame be overbought. Why do I keep focusing on this? People that are in the Better Traders Club know exactly why. But just to tease out a little bit of information without giving everything away, we want to see RSI above 70, because when it's overbought, then that means we have a strong trend in play. And we haven't seen that happen. We also have 2 levels of support. You can see here on the chart. We have a level right here. If RSI were to drop miraculously today, it's at 54. When this happens and it gets tested again, it'll probably be here in October or so, maybe November. We'll look at 56, but what we want to see happen is RSI drop down, break this, and fall lower, because we haven't seen it fall. And the reason why we want to see it fall is RSI falling on Bitcoin dominance means that Bitcoin dominance is weak, which means that others should be really strong. Make sense? Coming back over here to on balance volume. For Bitcoin dominance, it is admittedly strong. No doubt about it. So this is also why I'm like, it's going to happen, but it's going to still take a while. So we're just patiently waiting and biding our time. And we're waiting. Now, others, which is others dominance, this represents the slice of the crypto pie that others market cap, this takes up. So others, I consider others to be all the low caps, mid to low caps, small caps. So one thing that was amazing is that we've seen others increase like we haven't seen in, honestly, months. We saw a really nice bounce here in August. We saw it shoot up like 10%, which is amazing. Come back to the TBO support line, bounce a little bit again, doesn't come back down to support, makes a higher low, makes a higher high, and here we are. So right now, others dominance is having a pullback from the excitement of last Friday. And believe me, I was telling everyone in the Better Traders Club, be careful. The euphoria is real. We're seeing people posting screenshots instead of take profit like percentages and stuff like that. When you get the desire to post screenshots of your positions instead of your take profit targets being hit, there's a problem there. Some of you actually missed out on taking profit on a lot of your positions because you bought into the euphoria. Whenever we see anything move up parabolic like this, just be careful. So we had a major pullback on Tuesday and yesterday on others, but we're holding the TBO fast line right there. And for those of you that have been following my content for a while, I've shared this concept of a TBO springboard bounce. So you might be wondering, wait, what's this video about? We're talking about buying the dip. What I'm talking about is when the price is bullish, hopefully above the cloud, it's usually a better way to play it, and the price comes back to the TBO fast line, this is a great area to reinvest or enter on a pullback to trade it again. So we're seeing that take place on a couple of charts. Note, WIF had an incredible rally. I already shared this before, moved up 76% in 12 days. But check it out. The price has retreated since then and fallen about 12, 13%. That's normal. What we want to see, though, is the price fall right here into the TBO fast line. That's our target. Because think about it. If the market is looking at this, everyone trading is seeing WIF was up here at 263, and it falls down 22%. People are going to be afraid of this. There's probably going to be a lot of pain in the pullback because people have missed out on profits. They're like, oh crap, I didn't take profits. It went up that much. Oh no, I'm going to just panic sell the position that will push the price lower. This is where we want to start buying. We want to be buying on that pullback. That is the intelligent thing to do, not to chase a chart like this. Solana. This one has had a lot of the similar moves where we're seeing the price. Let me get rid of this and I can update it. There we go. Price is coming up and trying to push above resistance, Right here is actually a better area to reinvest or get into it, really, because it's back at support. Now, could it fall back down here? Yes, which is why we DCA. We could take one position here, we can double down there, and we can double down right here just in case. So if we're going to be doing a double down strategy, this should be 1/7 of our total possible volume, just like our DCA bot strategies with like TBT signals, with the better crypto signals. So then this would be 3/7 total volume, and this would be the full set of volume. This would be 7/7. So if we're thinking about numbers, this is 1, 2, 4, which all equals to 7. Taking a DCA approach is an incredible way to make things way more easy to stomach when the market just keeps dumping lower and lower and lower. I have positions that I've entered like this, and you would be amazed being down 30, 40, 50%, but using DCA properly, I exit on the bounce and way more profit than I was initially putting into the trade. But it takes following the strategy to the letter. If you abort, you're going to pay for it. I actually have a video that's coming out soon that's about that. And before I continue, just want to remind you, if you have a chart that you want me to look at, go ahead and drop it in the comments section here on YouTube. Sorry, other pop-up popped up. But go ahead and let me know what you're looking at, what you're thinking, what you'd like me to look at as well. And there, that's the window I wanted to put down here so I can see. Cool. Okay. But let me know. And if you're going to do that, we need to get the likes like way up. This is like super duper low. That's not fair. Okay, there we go. Let's keep going. SUI has been a hot ticker for a long time. I shared many posts on X, Instagram, YouTube, and also in the Better Traders Club about this chart, especially because of this. When we have, and let me hide our trend line. Let me hide this. When we have 3 of these white dots in a row, this is a TBO breakout. This is a huge signal. When we get 3 in a row, that means that the trend should be extremely strong and continue for a lot longer. Now we can use Fibonacci retracement levels to identify, okay, now we are coming up to our all-time high of $2 for SUI. But back here, we got confirmation that, wow, the trend is strong. So I could stay in this one and I don't have to worry about it so much. Yes, are there pullbacks along the way? Sure. But using the TBO breakout cluster right there, that means that we would be up right about, well, currently up 33% if we entered off of the TBO breakout, which I alerted everybody about when it was happening. Now, what do we do with a chart like this? It did exceed, oh, this is from the listing price. That's okay. It did exceed that and went up here to 214. I would be looking at this area as a good profit taking zone, honestly, where the price is right now, because $2 is such a round number. It would be silly. We haven't seen a break of the structure, which is strong, to be honest. RSI on the weekly is strong. On balance volume is strong. Volume in general is strong. If we come over here, now one thing to be cautious of is that RSI has been overbought, gosh, for 16 days straight. It reminds me a lot of Solana's start when it was just going crazy and everyone was like, no way could it go higher, including me. But what happened back here with Solana? I just want to make this super duper obvious to you, okay? What do we got right here? TBO breakout, not a perfect three in a row cluster, but what happened after that? We saw Solana pump higher and harder than we've seen in ages. It shot up another 500% after the TBO breakout do not fade the TBO breakout signals. I'm trying to give you a little bit of alpha here and help you out. Okay, so we're seeing some incredible, here's Sui's chart, but this is December 2023. We got breakouts right there. Not a perfect breakout, but it's still breakouts. What happens? Ba-boom, the price moves up 200%. So even though we're already coming up on the all-time high, this one could still rip up higher. So we're looking at resistance possibly up here at 318, which is still a good 60% higher. But again, from our breakouts, that's 120% ROI. That's amazing. Now, how do you enter on a chart that's already bullish like Sui is? There's not really a good chance that we're going to see an extreme pullback. That would basically put a top in this chart, in my opinion. How do we enter a chart like this? Well, we want to use a faster time frame like the 4-hour. And look, on the 4-hour, we also saw TBO breakouts right there. So how do we enter a chart like this on the 4-hour? Let me get rid of the Fibonacci retracements. There we go. So one strategy that we can use is the TBO springboard bounce. That means that even on the 4-hour, which is actually easier to do because you're going to get a lot more entries and it's going to be a lot faster, is we enter when the price touches or intersects or crosses the TBO fast line. When we do that, that's an amazing entry right there. And the first one's usually going to be the best one. That's just typically how this goes. But still, really nice moves. And the price goes up again. I mean, it's still moving up. But the main thing to know is that when we get these pullbacks into the fast line, this is great. Now, when we see a blue dot like this right here, this is a TBO close long. When we start seeing these on the uptrend on the 4-hour, just take a breather because we'll most likely see a pullback. This is letting us know that the open long position could be reversing soon. Therefore, if you haven't taken profits already, take some profits. Be cautious, be careful, don't be aggressive. But until we see that, we can be aggressive. So just wanted to give you a little bit of a tip there. All right. Let's keep going. Yes, and notice this is meme coin. I'm sorry, Solana shouldn't be a meme coin, but in a way it is. We'll just put it there. Meme coin, not a meme coin. Meme coin, meme coin. There's a reason why I have so many of these, is because these are so ridiculously volatile and they fluctuate so much. So we had a trade set up for Pepe way back here in September, and it took forever to finally hit our take profit target, but it sure did. And it also closed above long-term overhead support. See that right there? So it broke above, shot 24% above that. And guess what? It's fallen right back down to that level. And it's fallen down to the TBO fast line on the daily. This is the exact scenario I was talking about before with WIF. Getting one of these big pullbacks that scares a lot of people means that this is a great entry right here on the fast line. Don't be surprised if we see Pepe shoot all the way back up here another 30%. But to aim for the previous high is a grave error. You do not want to be taking profit right here. You want to be taking profit just below. And the TBO is actually letting you know right here with TBO resistance on the daily time frame at 11.44.9 for, I mean, I'm not going to say that number. That's too many zeros. But that's a great target. And I'm not even going to sell right there. I'm going to take profit just below it because I want to make sure that my order is going to be filled. I want to get in and get out, get on with my life. Okay. So Shiba Inu token. All right. So this one also has had a pretty amazing run. Look, similar story. We saw it break above resistance and we saw a major push above resistance, the long-term overhead trend line right there, which hasn't been pushed up above yet. It's a great sign. Where does the price stop? It's bouncing right now off the daily TBO fast line, which means, and look what happened to our TBO resistance line right there. Instead of selling way up here, it's dropped 11% or so, but we have a good, decent target that we can sell. Like this is what the springboard bounce is all about. Now, I really like to see these springboard bounces on a move like this, where we're already bullish, we're above the cloud, and we're back inside of it. So we're not super duper confirmed bullish. But on the 4-hour, we can see that those entries would have worked well. look, we even have a breakout cluster right here, 3 in a row on the 22nd of September. Then we saw the price shoot up 49%. No way we could have known it would shoot up that high. But if you hadn't taken profit yet, see it? Let me move the Fibonacci out of the way and the trend lines. Right there. TBO close long, TBO close long. Now, when we get one of these TBO close longs, the idea is that we don't want to sell as soon as we get this, because usually there's going to be a retrace back up to the fast line, which is exactly what we saw right there. See that? The price going right into the fast line. So we want to keep an eye on it, and we can use AllTrading actually to set up an alert so that when the price of SHIB crosses the TBO fast line only once, then send a sell alert to AllTrading for my position. I don't have to watch the chart. So let's say I opened a position here with AllTrading manually at 5 p.m. on Sunday. It went up and I didn't take any profit up here at 49%. It's okay. But I get this alert and I have it configured so that when the price, or rather the TBO prints a TBO closed short, I need to have an alert. And then once that happens, then I can be alerted to go, okay, I don't want to sell here for 24. I want to get a little bit back at 30. So why is that better than where we are right now? Because it also dropped back down. You gave away a lot of your profits, and some of you, you're in this position, and I'm sorry. But live and learn. This is why I tell you in my videos, take profit on the way up. There's nothing wrong with taking profit on the way up. It's a really good idea. All right, let's keep going. I want to save that one for last because it's boring. CAS. I saw someone mentioning CASPA last week in the live stream, and I was honestly confused because they were bull posting about it. And when I look at this chart, even without the TBO, what's bullish about this chart? Yes, the history is bullish, but what's bullish about it right now? There's nothing bullish about this chart. It's really bearish. Now, when we put the TBO on, it's going to gauge the strength of the trend. There was a time where CASPA was bullish. Here on the daily time frame, see those orange dots? Those are TBO close shorts. And when they are right around support, that green dotted line, this is a beautiful signal because it lets us know that the price is probably going to have a nice push up higher. So how do we trade this? Well, we want to trade it right up here to our TBO resistance line. So that ended up being a 46% move. And we can leave some in. We don't have to sell everything there. But where are we now? Well, things are not looking so hot right now. Let's get rid of that. Because we've had lots of signals letting us know it's getting weaker. It's getting weaker right here. TBO close long, TBO close long, TBO close long, TBO close long, long, and then we have the price now below the cloud. So if you remember, at the beginning I said, if the price of Bitcoin goes below the daily TBO cloud, that is strong bearish. And what are we seeing on CASPA? The price is super strong bearish. However, let's consider some opportunities if we are not already exposed and we want to buy some CASPA. Right now, it'd actually be a pretty juicy entry for a couple of reasons. Remember what I told you about the RSI? We've had a full reset. We've crossed up 25, just like we did back here on the September 6th, just like we did back here on August 5th. What happened on both of those times? And let me go like this. So here's that cross up. We saw CASPA shoot up 14%. Not bad. Mama, as we'd say in Japanese. Mama, ne? And then right here on the 7th of September, shot up 24%. So we're actually at a good position with RSI. Now let's just look at the TBO. We have TBO support right there, the green dotted line. Even just trading it up here, taking a long on CAS to sell when it returns back to the TBO fast line is 10%. So waiting for the market to be extremely panicked is an opportunity for an entry, even if the chart admittedly looks strong bearish. But we had lots of signals letting us know, consider taking some profits out. Ooh, consider taking some profits out. So this chart is not bullish. Even on the weekly, this chart is very bearish. So just be careful. Don't listen to people that are like posting all the time about one coin. They're probably overly invested and they're freaking out and they're trying to get anyone and everyone to buy. Prime was a coin that was requested last time, and I want to talk about this because this is really interesting. For one, I love it when the TBO does this because we have literally a whale shape right there. Do you see him? So we got the little triangle, the little eye right there. We have a fin right there, and now it's blowing out water, I guess you could say. I think it's pretty hilarious. But now that the price is above the cloud on the daily time frame, this is a big deal. This is actually a sign of victory. Now we really want to see the price shoot and stay above the cloud, but this is great because when we see it flip like this from bear to bull, the first thing that has to happen is we need to see the price shoot above the cloud. Now let me come over here to when it was newly listed. All right, so this is 2023. Price comes down, the cloud is just getting established, but when the price moves above the cloud, this is a sign that, oh, things could really get cooking. And what happens for Prime from then on? What do we got here? Again, same concept, TBO breakouts. What happens after that? We see explosive price action to come for this chart. It shoots up 339%, actually shoots up a whole lot higher, shoots up, pulls a 10x. Now, along the way, if you didn't take profits, take some profits out of the position when you see TBO close long, when the price returns to the fast line. And then we see it go again. We get more confirmation of explosive upward price action with more TBO breakouts. If we didn't take profit yet, we see another signal here for TBO close long. I mean, this is how trend trading is done, and this is how you make the most money. Again, we get another TBO breakout cluster right there, and then we get two in a row. That's usually a bad sign for a chart that it's topping out, but man, oh man, what an incredible rally for the chart. Now, when we've seen the chart bullish for such a long time, it's easy to forget. So what do we look for reversal signals in regards to the TBO? We look for close shorts. This lets us know that the trend could be changing, and boy oh boy, was this right. Now, it wasn't really close to support, but it's still close enough that that's a pretty good signal. Price shoots up, and now we're above the cloud-ish. We need to see the price shoot way above and stay above. But overall, the chart for Prime is looking pretty good. On the weekly time frame, it's bullishly consolidating, but it's not super strong yet. Okay? All right, last but not least, XRP. While this chart has had some amazing moves, it's also just the bane of existence. Like I really feel for people that are just diehard XRP fans. If you don't take profit on this chart, you're missing out. Now, admittedly, there was some hype. Was it Saturday and Sunday? The price of XRP shot up 13%, and then the announcement came about not BlackRock. I can't remember the company, but they're it doesn't matter. But an ETF application was put forth for XRP. This doesn't necessarily mean it's a good thing, to be honest, because what happened with Bitcoin spot ETF, Ethereum spot ETF. So if this does get approved, then yeah, maybe Ripple or XRP could go up higher, but it's still cursed in this zone. Just brutal chop, but great for trading. Really good for trading. I mean, it's in a sideways zone right now. So just keep that in mind. It also, yesterday, there was news about the SEC coming out again with allegations, and they're like, oh, we got to take you guys back to court. And it's like, no, you guys just finished. Please, Gary Gensler, just go away. Just go away, man. Get in a boating accident and go away, please. Making everything worse. You don't have to die. I'm not saying that. Just go away. Take a trip. Take a trip and just don't come back. It's okay. But man, oh man, do we need a changeover at the SEC. So anyway, XRP, as much as I do like the token, I'm not a hater at all, but I hate the price action. And you should too if you're a long-term holder. Charts like this, you must be taking profit as you go. If you're not, then you're just getting slapped across the face over and over and over. Thank you, Rygom. Yep, it was Bitwise that filed for a spot ETF with the SEC. Thank you. So you can trade and hold and accumulate. So let's talk about that. So a chart like this, and let's just make it clean. All right, let's not put anything on. We know the history of this chart. We can see visually that there are patterns and shapes, right? We can see that there's support and it's kind of doing this. We got like resistance kind of doing that. Just trade the zone, trade inside the zone. It's actually the better way to put it. Let me change this color to orange. So we want to just be inside of that channel so that way we can trade back and forth over and over and over. That's one way. Another way to do it is using alt trading, so that way you're taking partial profits. You don't have to use 100% take profit target, okay? This is how you accumulate more stable coins, but if you want to accumulate the token, don't do 100%, do like 90% or 95% take profit. So that way, every single time you buy and you sell, you're keeping 5% in XRP. So while this might tick off a lot of your XRP army friends, honestly, that's the smartest thing to do, because this chart is cursed. I mean, it's been stuck in this range forever. People talking about XRP going up to $20 they should be committed. Honestly, it's not going to happen because the chart is cursed. Yes, I know that there is long-term resistance in play. Where is it? Where is it? I have all of these lines in here, but I can just draw it real quick. Trust me, I'm not a Goomba. I can see that it's ready and it's waiting to break out. But man, oh man, it's going to take forever. And when it does, it's going to be a false breakout. Even if we were to do a fib extension here to figure out where could it go, I don't see $20 at all. Are you insane? Over here, if we take the listing high on Binance to the drop from the COVID drop, we're still looking at basically the same price targets. Really no different. About $3, about $6, $7 maybe. But things would have to really change, legally speaking, for XRP for it to shoot up that high. So with that said, if you're a long-term XRP believer, your money is better put to use by trading and taking partial profits. Take 95% profit and leave 5% in your wallet to accumulate XRP. Also, in doing that, let's say that you entered a trade here and you kept doing it over and over and over. You're actually going to be DCAing to the point where your average entry will be something like here over time. So it doesn't matter if there's a pullback in a week of 16% because you're still net green, you're still net positive. But for all of you that have just bought and held up here and you're not using DCA, you're still down. Like, it's still a brutal chart. So again, I have nothing against XRP. If anything, I'm rooting for them. But if you're just buying and holding a chart like this, you're just asking for emotional damage over and over and over. XRP should be the ones that are paying for your counseling bills, if anything, because this is just gross manipulation. But people still love it, and I understand why. Just consider what I'm saying, okay? So I don't see any chart requests, but if you have one, go ahead and drop it. I have a little bit more time, like 5 more minutes. But let me know if there are charts you'd like me to check out. You can drop it in the chat, okay? And I want to remind you that we have an amazing club. Our Better Traders Club is literally ridiculous. It's fantastic. There's so many things included in it, too many to list. And we have lots of different tiers, especially for all of you crypto cheapos out there. We have a starter tier for just $1 a month, cheaper than a cup of coffee, cheaper than a lot of stuff, and you're getting a ton of tools with that. Now, of course, if you're someone who's more into trading, then yeah, the trader tier is the way to go because you get access to the TBO indicator, tons and tons of alerts. We even get alerts that are sent over here to Discord in, gosh, I have to, oh man, I'm not prepared for that. That are in the TBO breakout, TBO close short alerts that are sent on the 4-hour and the daily time frame. So there's lots of stuff that's sent there. But if you just want to get into bot trading, check out the signal tier because you get access to the better crypto signals, which are 100% hands-free. I made a video recently about it. That's gonna blow your mind. It's crazy. I'm really excited for it too, to be honest. So just understand that things are feeling like right now. I get it, but understand that it's also normal. Like it's perfectly normal to be in this position where we're like, oh, there's a pullback again. It's like, how many times is this going to happen? It's going to happen a lot. So just kind of get used to it. It's normal for it to happen. But if you want help and assistance along the way, join the club. It's going to be a really good experience, and it's worth $1 for sure. Okay. I got 2 requests, so I can check out these, and we're going to call it a day. All right, so first up is Tau. Good pick. So is this bit tensor? No, Tau is, I forget what it is. Yeah, bit tensor. I was right. I was thinking of TNSR, this one, but it's not bit tensor. Okay, so obviously here, actually, let me get, I think, I want to find an older, there we go. So KuCoin has a much better older chart. Let me group together these guys. Yes, we've been trading it for a while. So what are we looking at? Chart has recovered beautifully. And what do we got up here? TBO breakouts. Now I want to say something. These TBO breakouts are not the same as seeing a TBO breakout cluster down here. The reason why is because this is after the move has already been made. This is unfortunately most likely a topping signal. We might see bit tensor have a pullback from here. It's still bullish. I mean, the price is clearly above the cloud. It's had an incredible push. Again, where? We talked about this. Off the TBO fast line, that's our springboard bounce. That's our setup. So we got a bounce right there, and it shot up 112%. It's an incredible rally. So the price is above the cloud. The cloud is now bullish, but we're chopping sideways for a bit because we're losing steam on RSI. Okay? But it's holding. Now, trading this chart on faster time frames could yield more quicker returns, obviously, but because the price is inside the 4-hour cloud, we're chopping, and this is not good chop. So just be aware that things are a little bit, they're not super strong yet. Okay, on the weekly time frame, it also ran right into TBO resistance on the weekly. So keep that in mind. While Tau is great here, if you haven't taken profits yet, consider taking a little bit of profit, or at least setting an alert for a TBO close long signal. Okay. All right. The other one is ACA USDT. Akala. All right. Yeah, we can go to OKX. All right. Whoa, okay, there's a lot of history on this chart. Wow, okay. All right, so I haven't looked at this specific chart, but this is pretty rough. I just want to be honest with you. Mainly because, I mean, that's a pretty insane drawdown. It's pretty bad, not gonna lie. There it is. That's the low right there, June 2023. Okay, the first thing is that this chart has not seen a bull market. Had a listing up here, fell down 98%. That's kind of normal for new listings, unfortunately, in bear markets. 2022 was a pretty disastrous bear market. 2023, we saw a little bit of an alt rally. This did not join in. Finally, when we saw things turn around for Bitcoin, this is where we saw ACA pick up. So it had a nice rally, finally. So that's the best thing that's happened to this chart in a long time. Actually, let me do this instead. Now, a couple of good things that I see on the chart is that we have TBO closed shorts right here that are kind of sort of near support. Not really, but they're kind of near support. Last time we saw this, it was a nice precursor to some nice upward momentum. So that's a good thing. The other thing that I like about the chart is that it's whippy. This one is actually a really good A/B trading chart, in my opinion, just because it keeps giving these really nice percentages, going up and up and up and up and up. Staying in this range is like crazy. It's good. Good for trading. But the chart is unfortunately still strong bearish because it's below the daily cloud. However, we have an open long. That'll change real fast. Until the price breaks above this level of overhead resistance, which is now getting moved to here. There's now no real hope for this chart just yet. So I would be looking at trying to accumulate a DCA here, here, and here. This is probably never going to happen unless things are really bad. This is, I don't think it's going to happen, but mainly because we saw this low wick down here and it didn't come down to this value. So you could keep some extra funds just in case, but this makes more sense to, you know, put in a stink bid order, as they say, just above 5 cents for this chart, because if we could catch there, that's going to be on really big panic, which will be really good, down another 13-12%. I mean, the upside potential of a chart like this that has not seen a bull market is big. Admittedly, it's very, very big, but everything is still looking pretty bearish for the chart, even on the weekly time frame. But with that said, I mean, if you're into these dip buy opportunities and there's potential for ACA, the project, or whatever they have on the roadmap, and you think it's good, yeah, I mean, it could do really well, but it's going to take a lot of momentum and a lot of volume, which I'm not really seeing any interest or excitement in this chart, to be honest. So giving it to you real. I'm not trying to sugarcoat anything. So there it is. All right, awesome. Well, thanks again for hanging out with me. I totally forgot to make an end screen again, and I just realized that my trading journal fell down because I was filming stuff yesterday and I got knocked over. But anyway, thanks again for hanging out. I want to recommend to you again to go ahead and check out the Better Traders Club at thebettertraders.com. I can't find my button. Okay, found my buttons. Sorry. But until the next time, you know what to do. Stay awesome and stay in the green. Peace.